The Gallowgate Shots podcast is sponsored by Tyre Spot, the North East's leading tyre supplier with branches across the region. Tyre Spot don't just do tyres, they cover everything from servicing to wheel alignment. They can handle every aspect of your car's maintenance. For more information, visit tyrespot.co.uk. Enjoy the episode.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Always Smiling Faces podcast. Those watching, it's not a match review. I pressed the wrong button. So it's not a match review, but it kind of will
Technically.
be. It kind of will be, yeah. But we are back Monday Night Live. I am here, Kris, joined by Besty, Deka and Mark. Deka, start the show with the famous words. You've not done this for bloody ages, mate.
It feels a lot. I forgot I did it. To be fair, though, it's because he wasn't here for 2 months of the season.
That's a point like that.
Did we win during that time?
Every week.
Really? Anyway, we won, you know.
Get
in.
in.
I'm going to throw it out there straight away because I've probably been guilty of this as well, and many other people have been. The result that we've been getting, the 4-0, everyone's saying, 4-0, great result. But it's against Leicester, and Leicester were shit, which they were, okay? But we have played other shit teams this season, West Ham being one of them, and we couldn't get a result against that one. So I think we've got to take a big positive from it as well.
We were snuck past Southampton and Wolves as well, and they've both had the managers.
God, you're a right negative gets, man.
saying.
We've just won 4-0 and you're complaining.
No, he's not complaining.
How weird, man.
Oh, literally the opposite of a complaint.
It's not.
Have you had that response prepared all day? Expecting me to say something different.
He's not complaining. It's just sat there and said, well, it was only Leicester.
No, listen to what he said. Say it again.
I said a lot of people are saying it was only against Leicester, and Leicester were shit, which I agree with. They were shit.
There you
No,
go.
they were.
There you go.
But listen.
But we've struggled against poor teams this season, so we've got to give credit when we're going get a victory and a performance.
Great. Thanks, Kris. Then what did Besty follow it up with?
I said that we struggled against Wolves and Southampton earlier in the season.
Yeah.
So stop being so bloody negative, man. We're won.
You've started
We're
already.
won.
I haven't even started yet.
I was making a comparison that we did far better than against.
Who
Wolves.
cares? We're won.
Yes.
4-0. That's all that matters.
Jesus.
Well, thanks for watching.
You've gone early there, Mark. Jesus.
It was the perfect performance at the perfect time against the most perfect opposition.
They were terrible, mate.
Aye, but it was only Leicester.
No. Well, listen, like the reason why I agree with Kris massively there is that we've sat here a lot, haven't we? We'll get ourselves up for the big teams. It's the little ones we struggle against. Well, happy days that didn't happen on Saturday, right? It was perfect.
It's league champions,
Absolutely perfect.
Premier League champions, Leicester City. This is
That's true, yeah. You never sing that. No,
Aye.
no, honestly, absolutely superb. Superb from, well, not from the very start, but for 85 minutes of that game, we were just a completely different level to them. And it was outstanding to see. Perfect. I'm so happy for Howe because I think we've wanted that. I'm not saying we've wanted to smash a team 4 or 5-0. We always want to do that. But I just thought in terms of seeing a great performance, a good performance from them, that's exactly what they delivered. They were brilliant. Absolutely brilliant from them.
It was a bit of an old school performance, wasn't it, Besty? Where we kind of just, apart from the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I would say, we controlled it after that.
It was a weird one because Leicester, it felt like a cup match against a lower league team. It was such a difference in quality, the standard. And that being said, I thought our best 2 players were defenders, Dan Burn and Lewis Hall. Lewis Hall, brilliant.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Hey, he's turning you around, isn't he, Besty?
Oh, yeah, he has turned us round.
Yeah.
Like, in quite a short, talking to Smithy at the game on Saturday, like, the start of the season, I remember talking about him thinking, I'm still not too sure, and I'll still say the first couple of games, some of his decisions were a bit off, and his improvement's been incredible over the past. You could say the past year. I mean, we're now talking about Osula, who obviously came on for a little bit towards the end of the game, and people are saying, he's not playing much, is he? What's the point? Look at Lewis Hall. Like, I'm not saying that Osula is going to have that impact as quickly as Lewis Hall has, but it's something that they've obviously seen in Hall and gone, right. Because I didn't know anything, but I know Mark had watched him a little bit before we signed him, going by what we're saying when we did. I didn't have a clue who he was. So he came and I thought, like, well, who's this young lad? Like, big square jaw, a bit stocky and that, like chases the ball a bit. I thought I'm not very impressed. Well, I remember he came
Looks
on
like
against,
he's my.
he came on against Tottenham last season down there, and I thought, Christ, he's shocking this kid. Like, and now he's, I can say he's consistently probably player of the season so far. Granted, it's what mid-December.
Yeah.
It's a long way to go. Yeah, but he's been brilliant. And the Saturday he was excellent. He's so strong on the ball. He reminds us a bit of maybe his body shape, but like Shaqiri or Ryan Fraser, where he's small. Like he looks because he's
I thought you were going to go
solid.
Graham Lasso.
Graham Lasso, that's not a bad shout. He's strong. Like he doesn't. People kind of jump on his back, and he's well, whatever. I'm going to crack on with this. Like really good quality. Him and Gordon played really well together
for that, didn't he, Josie? And,
yeah,
in terms of just
solid
as a rock, wasn't he?
And Hall's got that. Like he's a solid lad. Like, but he's been absolutely brilliant. And Big Dan Burn as well. Burn, I thought on Saturday was excellent. And
That's what happens when you move Burn to centre half and then get a left back.
His natural position, of course.
You have two players that perform better. Sorry, Mark.
But yeah, I mean, for all
It was only Leicester.
going forward through the team. Like Tonali was excellent. I thought Gordon was dead effective. Still a little bit scrappy on the right, I think. But weirdly, I don't know. Mark's gonna have a pop on this here. The performance to me didn't feel like it wasn't like an explosive 4-0. It was the 1-0 at half time, and then I had that spell of, was it 15 minutes in the second half? It was 4-0 by 60 minutes, then that was that.
Yeah, but if it wasn't for some god-awful finishing, we could have been 3 or 4-0 up by half time.
Stop being so negative. You're so negative.
No, but I'm to the point. I get what you're saying. It was only 1-0 at half time, but we created a hell of a lot in that first half
I have
before
to
we
say,
did have that spell.
I agree with Mark because I was a little bit worried because we've seen this against Brighton, West Ham, where
Brighton was,
Gordon's chance, and Brighton 150 chances, he can't take them. We had Gordon's, which is a wonderful save from the goalkeeper. He cut inside. Gordon was massive, really good save, great save, good shot, good save.
It was early on as well, wasn't it?
Really early on, yeah. You had Dan Burn had a really good chance with a header. It was almost free header. Bruno had a decent chance, and you just, not be negative, but you're like, we're playing really well here, but you've seen this before,
He's out when he was 1-on-1 as well.
Yep. Once you get the first one, though, it does chill you a bit. Murphy missed a couple right then, so he's shouting what at the Gallowgate then, which we'll come on to.
The two that he missed on his left foot.
There's one of them he has to hit the target. I mean, like, my God.
He's not my player. He's not. When I've never seen it, I don't think I've seen him score with his left foot. So I was surprised that people were.
He was closer to the corner flag than he was the goal.
Well, they weren't good efforts, but I wouldn't say I'd expect him to. I'd expect him to do better, as in.
I'm expecting a professional.
At least get close to the goal, maybe. I'll get it on target. But like, I've seen people. I put a thing on. She's saying, "I should have 4 or 5." I'm thinking, well, should he?
Well, people need to relax a bit. Like, I agree with you there. That I'm his biggest critic, but he missed a chance. But I wasn't exactly punching my kids because of it. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, it'll be alright. We'll be fine. But people do overreact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just you see though these I hate these comments.
People overreact.
No. Come on, you're right though. I've seen that he should have 4 or 5. But you honestly think Jacob Murphy's going to score 4 or 5?
I think
relax.
The worst miss is the one in the second half. That was really similar to the goal where the keeper. Instead of playing it across the goal, he's kind of just put his foot through it. The keeper saved it's gone for a goal.
The one he scored, right, was the hardest in the lot. I mean, it was a wonderful finish.
And he's put it through the keeper, hasn't he? Kind of go through his legs.
To be fair to him, both of them were good finishes. The first one, he's got to put it either through bodies or as he gets it around. I think there's about 4 of them in front of the ball. And he just puts it right in the bottom corner. He does take that very, very well.
Yeah, it's a really well worked corner, that mine. Excellent. They tried it in front of us, the Gallowgate. The Gallowgate East stand. Something quite similar in the first half earlier on. Big part, it didn't quite come off. But then that one, you can see with the way Gordon sets up, because Gordon's on the edge of the penalty area. I thought, something's going to happen here because they've lined up. And it was brilliant. It was really well worked. He's got the freedom. Like he could have taken a touch. He could have gone out down his hands and knees and it wouldn't hit the target. So he couldn't have done. But
it's a funny one when it rolls to him. You're thinking, in my mind at that moment, I'm thinking this could either go over the Gallowgate or might go in.
Well, given the first half he'd had up until that point.
Do you know what it is? I think
had he played that badly?
I think we'll have to address it. He was awful.
He was horrendous. He was horrendous.
Every bit of possession that we have and it was lost was coming from him. It was so frustrating. And Mark said early on,
and this is a big point because, as you know, I don't like
singing
to. I don't like to get at players. But
so Mark's words were, have you ever seen a player get worse each time they play? They're not long after that.
That's what it was like. Honestly, I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
It's mental though, because
you see him have games like that, but then he'll you know, he'll do something well and he'll grow into the game, but it just seemed to be every time the ball came to him or he got a chance, it just progressively got worse.
It's back-to-back games. He got two assists in the first one, but he got two assists in the first game. Then he's got two goals in the next one.
It's madness.
But I don't. Do you know what it is? I'm not going to go too much on it, but because he did get the two goals, but he didn't have a great game. Like,
I honestly
he improved after that. After the first goal, I think it gave him a bit of confidence.
I can't remember him playing that, but I remember we were talking about how far we got down the right and the left, like how well Gordon and Hall work together. Tino and Murphy don't seem to have that. And that's not a criticism of Tino or Murphy as individuals. They just haven't got that. Remember how we had Trippier and Miggy, who were the year we stayed out and the year we finished fourth, where they were just working wonderfully together. Like the right hasn't got that now so much.
Yeah, it's funny enough. You know, I was thinking that today to mention that, and you said everything I was going to say. I then also thought like Hall and Gordon are just that damn good. Like it's very difficult to marry that up, right? To find another two players.
It's also quite hard to tell them apart from a distance.
Yeah. Well, I used to say about my mate, you know, when he played here, that he needed support. You know what I mean? Like it used to be a case of give him the ball and I'm just going to stay back and try and take the world on. It helps Gordon so much by having Hall, you know, going beyond him and linking up. There was the link up play between the pair of them. It was like, you know, Enrique and Gutierrez. I remember back in the day, them two were just wonderful going to the left hand side, you know. And I know weren't fantastic, I know, but them two, I used to love seeing them. The link up play they had and tracking back as well from Jonas and that. And I feel that them two have really got it, like, and it's and go back to Hall what you mentioned. I think a lot of that is the more games you play, right? Mm-hmm. You would hope you progress, you get better, you grow confidence, you know, because you're getting game time. Whereas last season, especially, he's getting 45 minutes at Bournemouth and they're taking him off because he's not playing very well. Yeah. You cannot really get a run of form, if that makes sense.
Because you mentioned him, I have your mate, Maxi, and would just be mentioning Jacob Murphy.
It's bullshit, I didn't care.
A brace for Jacob Murphy against Leicester now put him 1 goal ahead of Valencia Maximum.
He's played a lot more games, hasn't he?
Yeah. Well,
and he's also playing for a lot better Newcastle United side than he ever did.
I think you've got to take it with a pinch of salt, but I just thought it flowed in pretty well with that one.
Maxi alongside Bruno's of the world. And
he must have played more. Maxi was here for 3 seasons and Murphy's been here for 6 or 7 so far.
But he was out on loan
for a long, wasn't he, for a bit?
Long time of it.
2 years on loan.
I got me mate tagged his cup off. He's watching and tagged us in that straight away. And he was like, hey, look at this. And I was like, immediately no.
Take it with a pinch of salt. Numbers are better than Phil Foden's this season, Murphy's.
Yeah, mate, he's terrible Foden at the minute, isn't he?
Jesus. The cup final last season, something happened to him. He's not been the same since. He was desperate in the Euros as well.
It is hard though, because you don't want to be, because he scored 2 goals, don't you? You know, you don't want to. It's just difficult. Though,
you kind of knock him for that. As we're saying, a week he's had 2 assists and two goals.
Yeah. Do you think his celebration was that? To me, he's going what? Like,
yep,
100%.
I hope so. I hope I'm on his side.
Really?
Completely. Yeah, of course I am.
He was dog shit.
But he's playing for Newcastle. It doesn't matter. You support him.
I did think it was a bit rich. Let's say.
Yeah. One thing I would say is that I hadn't really noticed that he was getting any abuse. Maybe he's had his blanket completely.
Not inside.
It sounds like it. It sounds like it.
Honestly, Besty, I think you're right. Not inside the ground.
Actually, was he not running towards you and Mark?
That's what I said in the ground. I said,
"Where's Deka?"
I was looking for him.
No, I agree with it because I was going to add I don't think it was necessarily abuse. People were just like annoyed that you've missed a chance. They're not going, "You're absolutely fucking shit." Like they're not shouting at him. They were just frustrated.
It wasn't like Miggy was playing.
Aye.
Scott mentioned it was his Jose Perez moment. Remember when he went over and stuck his fingers in his lugs?
He still does that. He scores now.
I think he started like that game, then he's continued it since then.
Yeah.
So
is he going to start shouting what every time?
What?
Stone Cold. What?
Is that wrestling thing?
Murphy 316.
What?
But fair play to him. He, as just said there, he did take the goals, both of them, very, very well.
He hit that second one. Absolutely smashed at that.
Yeah. Like I say, I don't think it's
straight through the keeper's legs.
It just goes through the keeper.
Yeah, through his legs.
Oh, it helps when he's in goal. Like, I mean, goodness me.
It was very odd for them to change the keeper. He didn't see. I mean, he didn't appear to be injured when he went off. But so at the time we were thinking, was it a tactical decision or was it?
No,
was it enforced?
Well,
we know that now.
I'm not like I'll be honest. I mentioned this on the match reaction. I didn't realize that changed the keeper until
well, it took a bit.
No,
it took a little bit until we got into the game. Because obviously we just we came up just as we were getting awarded the free kick that was
yeah.
scored from, because we're down in the concourse, just trying to defrost a little bit because it was absolutely bitter on Saturday. So thankfully we made it back to I was going to say seats, but standing point.
Still a seat there.
In time for the second goal, and again, it was a well worked piece.
It was shocking defending.
It was shocking.
It was. Lewis Hall's got a free header at the back post, and then it comes to the back post again as a comparison. And then Bruno's got a free header. Shares behind him.
Ready, yeah.
It's well worked. It's well worked, and it's something that we've said for ages that we don't make enough of set pieces, and then all of a sudden,
I've been very critical.
Palace.
There was a couple that we tried something different. Yeah.
And that's like I could say that one in the first half. Then the third goal, watching Match of the Day on Saturday night. I forget who the coach. It's Ashley Williams.
Ashley Williams was it? He was on.
And Theo Walcott.
Yeah.
And it says, Connor Cody's unlucky there.
No, he's not.
It's bad. It's terrible defending, man. It's a good ball, and he can't believe he's lucky. I'm like,
yeah. I mean, I think it's even if it doesn't get that little deflection, he's in the right place for it to get something on it. But yeah, the little deflection just takes the keeper completely out of the equation. And
it was only whilst watching Match of the Day that I remember that Van Nistelrooy was their manager. Totally, like during the game, passed us by and all other program, just didn't think to look. And like, I watched him. I was Van Nistelrooy. I forgot it because he's had quite a good start there. In the
two home games, or wasn't it? It's his first away game. I think.
Well, people kind of were quite happy with what he did at Man U before Amorim came in and all that, and said, "Oh,
it helped." Yeah, I think his legacy at the club helped there, didn't it? Like
a bit, like
almost couldn't do any wrong. I think them beat Leicester. I could be wrong, actually. Sorry.
I think it did.
They did absolutely thump them, and that was the game that he went out on, right? And all the rest of it. But I did want to mention Tonali. What was your? Because I've got my own thoughts. Probably be the same. But what's your thoughts on him playing as the 6? I know some people don't like the number, so I'll say defensive midfield. The sitting role and having Bruno playing on the right / further up. What was your thought?
I thought he was bloody fantastic.
Unbelievable.
He was excellent. Like, he was.
I said this when we signed him. I remember reading that huge piece on The Athletic about where he can play and what he can do. He has to play in that position. It's his position, that. And let Bruno, to be fair, I know he scored from that position, but there was a few chances in the first half where he was in the box headering it or almost headering it, like really high up the field. I just think there's a much better balance there.
Do you know that's the first time they've won with those two starting since Villa last season? The first game last season, obviously 10-month ban and all that. But even then, the games that they played at the start of last season and when they've been together this season, you'd have thought.
Yeah. Is this what we need to stick with now, Besty?
It's hard to deviate from it, I think. I mean, Joe Linton, Joe Linton was a bit loose early on, but then I thought towards the end of the first half, he was excellent. Like, really, really good. But he's suspended, isn't he?
Yeah.
For the next game.
Ipswich.
No, not Brentford this week, Ipswich at the weekend. So that'll maybe necessitate a change where you might see Longstaff, probably will see Longstaff come in. And Longstaff isn't Joe Linton, is he? So that'll probably, you might get Tonali further forward, Longstaff. Who knows? Might get, what do you call him still on the books? Jeff Hendrick.
I think Willock might play. Willock might come in for that role.
Oh, yeah, of course. Willock came on, didn't he?
On that left-hand side, it's kind of, you're asking, well, certainly defensively, you're not going to get as much, of course. But in terms of going forward, if you play Willock on the left of the three, you're going to get that same type of drive as what Jordan will give you. In that sense, anyway.
You'd like to think that be able to take the game for Ipswich. I mean, I know the beat Wolves at the weekend.
Well, it was funny. I was talking to my mate the day, and he was saying Brentford haven't won away from home in the Premier League this season.
Yeah.
Complete polar opposites at home and away.
Yeah. And Ipswich haven't won at home this season.
Dr. Newcastle.
We'll see you now. So we've got to be careful. We've got to be careful.
Do you know what it is? Looking back at the result, it's a great 4-0 victory. Of course, it's great performance, great result, 3 points.
Any buts there?
During
just going with that?
No, there's another positive. During a pretty shitty week, on the back of a defeat, a 4-2 defeat against Brentford.
Yeah.
News that Pope was out. We don't know how long Pope's going to be out as well, which is
it's going
to be a month plus. Yep. So it's a great result. Dubravka had absolutely nothing to do.
He caught the ball in the first half, and I think that was his first touch.
Honestly, nothing.
And it was literally just like one in the air. I'll have that. There was no like pressure. Nah, nothing to do. He made a fairly good save at one point in the second half.
I think it's just a normal save, isn't it? Like he just goes down and just collects it.
Nondescript. He's a good shot.
I think that's what I mean by the perfect opposition. That you've also playing your second string goalkeeper. He's now today.
Yeah,
that's a great confidence builder for him. You know what I mean? It just it helps, right? You know, and it would have been awful if we had been playing against a decent side. No offense to him, but like a really good side, and he's under the cosh. Like, you know what I mean? But thankfully that wasn't the case, and obviously we want Pope back. Of course we do, but you have to play with the cards you dealt, right? And we have to just.
I think when we went 3-0, Mark, I looked at you and I said, all we need now is the fourth, and he's going to make changes straight away because we're desperate for Isak to basically get off the field because you think we're not losing this game.
Very surprised he kept Isak on as long as he did. Yeah. I mean, he pretty much immediately made the changes in midfield to do that. But yeah, I thought he would have given Osula a bit more of a run out than he did.
And I think that was just we were more wanting Isak to not pick up an injury. Obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the only real. I'm going to say real striker. Well, no, he's not because you've got Osula there, but he's not going to get much game time. Isak's going to start every single game. Of course, he is.
Isak's fit. He starts. It's a no-brainer.
He was outstanding.
Isak,
game. Outstanding.
When he runs at for the fourth, when he runs at that centre half, and he kind of just dummies one way, then the next, and he's running directly at him. The defender's kind of like he's zigzagging. He just ends up going the wrong way.
The chance that Murphy had just before it was nigh on a carbon copy. He obviously just took the second one a lot better.
He had them on a plate, honestly.
But it was weird. Like it almost, Ruud van Nistelrooy almost set them up like the perfect formation just for us to absolutely hammer them. They played so narrow in defence that Murphy and Gordon just had the absolute run of both flanks. The midfield were just sat there. That just allowed us so much time and space in there. And Isak was just picking up the ball and just going straight at them, and they were just dropping back and dropping back and dropping back. It was crazy to see.
I found it very interesting research that a lot of times when he comes deep, teams are absolutely up his arse when he collects the ball. On Saturday, the amount of times he was able to, on the half turn, almost gather the ball in, and you're in huge trouble. If he's turning and running that, you're in huge trouble.
Particularly when they were playing with two defensive midfielders as well, you would have expected them to sit in front of the back four and just stop that from happening. They didn't at all. It was.
I did fancy the chances when I seen Chowdhury and Skip in that midfield. I thought, whoa, hold on here. Like we look at our ability here that we have, But again, I don't want to keep saying that. I feel like I'm just knocking Leicester all the time. There, we were fantastic. I think
we were 4 goals better than them.
100%,
they were the worst team I've seen here this season. Like
I agree.
I would just say on that point is, and again, it comes back to what you were just talking about there. Tonali was brilliant. But in that midfield,
seems like you were the butts tonight.
There was a lot of times where Bruno, Tonali, and Joe Linton were in the box because they were able to do that because there was nothing behind them to do it. Bar a ball up to Vardy. Do that against the team that have got a midfield or a striker that can come and pick up the ball, then you've got problems. So
Bruno was getting very adventurous mind.
Yeah,
sometimes he was the highest up the field.
Yeah.
But I think I agree. But these are intelligent players, and I would imagine in game they would know. Listen, we all can't bomb on, and How would probably be telling them. But I would hope Tonali, international player, Bruno's internationally.
That's the worry. From what Besty's just been saying, there's them two playing together. We haven't won a game until this weekend. Because we've all seen it. They both like to do and make go. That's where when Longstaff's played, he gives you that bit of safety net to drop in, doesn't he?
I'm giving it the other way. I think it's because we've been playing Tonali as the right and Bruno's the hold, and that's how I think there's always been a bit of an issue with the three of them. I feel if we swap that, I honestly believe we're better suited, better balanced.
I think probably would agree with that. I think, broadly speaking.
And that's why I was so annoyed in Brentford they went on. And I know they're going to say it was tiredness. Still ding at the Tonali one, but we had such a good performance against Liverpool with the 3-3, and and then you made them changes, and you're like, for God's sake. Like, again, it's momentum that you cannot build, But anyway, let's hope this is the...
I think we're going to have to talk a bit of a comical moment which happened in the game, Besty. You would have had a good view of this as well. Bruno's dive.
Yeah, they made a bit of a thing on that match today, on Saturday night.
It was horrendous.
You could see him do it. I always remember, now when you could tell when Toyota was going to foul somebody from like a minute before it happened.
On the way to the ground?
You could see well before... You could see well before Bruno got anywhere near the ball what was going to happen. He should have been booked.
Yeah, 100%.
He should have been booked for it. Yeah. But what I don't agree with on match today is saying he should have been sent off, shouldn't he? Well, that's not the same thing.
It doesn't work. Yeah.
If he'd already been booked and then dives doesn't get booked, there's an argument. But because he didn't get booked for the first one, the second one then doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So it's
butterfly effect.
They'll say in the match today.
10 seconds.
I don't think he gets booked because it was a dive, but there was some contact there, and I think that's what stopped it. There was. He puts himself in front of the ball so that the defender has to hit him. He's initiated it, but how many times do we see Gordon, for instance, do that. Obviously, he's a bit clever with it.
I don't like to see it.
It was like when you looked at each other, we said he's lucky not to get booked there. Like
that's our only reason I think he doesn't is because
not our
there's
game
an element of contact, but it was silly.
Not our game, but did you see Walker yesterday? Just on about diving.
It's worse than the Fabian Shaw one. So it's very similar to the Shaw one, the Southampton game. The Southampton game. They go head to head. It's
Rasmus
Højlund that goes to. So Kyle Walker puts a daft little foul on and pushes him, and he falls to the
blatant foul.
Højlund stands up, turns around. The free kick's already been awarded. He turns up and starts running towards Walker, and they both put their heads together, but nothing happens. They just put their heads together, and then Walker goes down.
It's like 3 seconds after they've had the
movement or anything
held together.
Yeah, but win an Oscar. Amazing.
It's quite good, actually, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll show it after this, but mate, it's bad.
They both get booked. Yeah, they both get booked for it.
So sorry to change it.
The thing with the Bruno foul, it took the referee ages to give the free kick.
It did.
He was very slow with his whistle. There was quite a few decisions where he
took a good few seconds where he's kind of had looking on it. Go on then.
Almost assessing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean,
sometimes it works, mind.
Yeah. I think that one Bruno's a bit of luck. He's gone for the ball and he's kind of hasn't quite got there. It's a yellow card. It's fair enough, right? But yeah,
they got looked at that one as well.
Yeah.
I thought it would have to be.
I think if it had been a bit higher, then maybe
a little bit more higher. Yeah,
because it studs down, isn't it? It's like he goes for he's reaching for the ball. That's all that is, and he connects with his shin, then goes down. If I had been higher, then he's probably off. Like,
I agree.
Yeah. But I think he's going for the ball, but he's just got it wrong. It's a yellow card. But the whole match of the day thing saying, he's looking not to go off. I think, well, that's not how that works. If you don't give the first yellow card, then he probably doesn't make the foul for the second yellow card. Because you could see as soon as he
true, but I think we've had this argument ourselves as well.
As soon as he got booked, you could see him pulling out with stuff straight away. He was like he was kind of reining himself in a little bit.
I'm sure we've had the same argument about.
I'm just trying to. Sorry, those that listen to the audio, Besty's mic's gone a little bit quiet. It's still there.
Yeah,
we're just trying to angle it.
Turn the game.
No, that's fine.
No,
it's
yeah.
You two talk.
That's weird. I'm talking at the side of it now.
That'll be worse, won't it?
That's probably better, is it?
People will tell you.
Try now.
He's broke it.
Can I not just pull it back away?
Yeah.
You have to lie on the floor for the rest of the podcast.
That's all. I don't mind that. I'm tired.
You're fine. Just go.
Grand.
Yeah, got you. You're fine.
I think we've had that before. The Liverpool game. You remember when there was absolute hell on last season at St James? I'm sure Van Dijk or was it Trent?
Trent it was.
Gordon down or something. Everyone was like, "Well, that should be a second yellow."
He got one for kicking the ball away, I think.
And then he did that foul.
Yeah.
Immediately afterwards.
He was already booked and then.
I apologise. It was the wrong way around in my head.
That's kind of what I had in mind as well. I thought, because Van Dijk did get sent off.
I did see a load of people kicking off because of what happened in the City game and the fact that Shaw had been sent off for us. Somehow that the two were related and we were hard done by because he'd been sent off for the thing, but the difference was as he did.
Well, I think we were hard done by in the shape Brereton Diaz one. It was Brereton Diaz who
100% of that
initiated the contact, and then
but if you look at the two replays side by side, like
they're not similar at all.
They're not similar.
Yeah.
I mean,
apart from they put their heads together.
That's it. Yeah. Apart from that,
so is it like James Perch with
Pepe
Reina?
They could have been neck and arm. They went in that gently against each other.
It's really bad.
Yeah, it's not great.
Bad. But anyway, sorry. Yes, Patnos.
I forgot where I was at.
Well, I think we've covered all the goals. I think pretty much. I think we'll talk about Bruno's. We'll talk about the Isak one, bad defending, all that, and then we'll talk about Murphy's great finish on the fourth one. And then Van Nistelrooy made some changes, didn't he? And that was almost just to shut up shop, like no more than 4 type of thing. We took our foot off the gas, which I didn't want to do. I have to say, I was joking in the group saying I want to really keep going here. Like, you know what I mean?
I did as well.
You know, it is what it is. But
it turned not necessarily flat, but it just turned into a training exercise afterwards.
There was at one point where Trippier and I think it was Shea just passed the ball back and forth like about 10 times.
Oh, I did want to mention Trippier not taking the armband.
So there's a question.
Right.
Yeah, we might as well go straight to it. So there is a question being sent in about that. We've got a few questions. I've seen your Josh as well, so I'll put them up in a minute. So this one is from Woody, who is a member. So if you do want to become a member, it's just $2.99 a month. There's a link in the description.
Woody,
lovely. He says, any worry about Trippier's reaction when Bruno tried to give him the armband? Seemed to turn it down pretty aggressively. Now to worry about, or another sign he's gone in January.
He's dying to go, yeah.
It's really wound me up today, this, you know.
I can tell.
Because, like, everybody's making this huge song and dance that he's refused the captaincy. He hasn't. He's not. And admittedly, he should still be the captain. I think that's the top and bottom of it. But I think that's actually shown really good leadership from Trippier, because he's saying, because Bruno's done it, because probably behind the scenes, they probably do see him as being, you know, captain material, looking after everything behind them. That leadership. So Bruno's first reaction is, oh, I'm going to give it to Trippier. And Trippier's went, hang on, you can't give it to me. I'm not the vice captain. The vice captain's on the pitch. You need to give it to Dan Burn. And that's exactly what's happened.
That's what I thought.
Yet it's coming out. Oh, he's refused to take the captaincy. He's been aggressive about it. What a load of nonsense. People are looking for a situation and
they're all many Craig Hopes, aren't they? Really?
It's crazy.
That's what I was going to say.
It's mental that you would look at that. I
We've all
thought it
got
was
a
really
taste of
good
the hopes, haven't we?
leadership.
They're all Craig Hopes, isn't they?
I didn't know there was any discourse about that at all.
I didn't know
There's been loads.
Oh,
Really?
quite a lot, mate. Oh, yeah.
Disgusting that
Trip.
Trippier refused the captaincy.
Is that your headline?
Madness.
Before Mark blows a gasket.
It's not even.
It has annoyed me to say that.
I'll tell you what I really enjoyed, and I didn't want to mention it at the game because I thought if I say it, it's gonna bite us on the arse. There was a point about 10-15 minutes in where Dan Burn absolutely rinses Jamie Vardy for pace. I remember seeing that and thinking, like, where are we here? Because Vardy's the one who
Didn't get a touch,
Vardy
did he?
loves scoring against us. And I thought,
He's about 50.
That's it. He is. I like him as well.
He's still
I
quick,
really
though.
like.
No, it's not quick as Dan Burn.
As quick as Dan Burn.
He's Dan Burn. I love Jamie Vardy, man. I love how much of a shithouse he is and all that. Like, I like that he winds people up. But seeing Dan Burn like do that a couple. I thought, like, all right.
And even he must feel it as well, right? Like how good he was. He's a tremendous player.
Brilliant.
Over that Premier League winning season, etc. And for years, sorry, I'd give him a disservice by saying just that season.
He was still their only threat, though.
Well, that's the way they're set up as well. And it's
Yeah,
just a poor side.
We're just hitting hope a lot of the time,
Yeah,
wasn't
it
it?
is.
Well,
It
to
is.
see the team that they had, like when they won the FA Cup, and when even before they went down, like Yuri Tielemans, I mean Vardy, Morris, and Harvey Barnes. Yeah, I always was there for.
We'll have to talk about Harvey Barnes. Was he trying his best not to score against Leicester because it was his old team?
Nah, I thought he was trying too hard.
Yeah, I'm with Kris
Really?
there. There was a lovely little flick on the edge of the box where he hits up these, he kind of puts it through his own
Snaps
legs
at it.
and just has a go at that. But then there was one where
Not far wide as well.
It's
That
funny, he
Besty.
kept coming inside. Like he does on that side.
The other way.
And it was like he was driving, he was like, oh shit.
wrong foot, left foot.
Oh, yeah.
There was one where Osula puts him through. Osula should really put Gordon through a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
And then Garden,
Overhit, isn't
Harvey
it?
Barnes.
Yeah.
I don't think it's overhit. I think Barnes just kind of lets it run across his body a bit too much.
Yeah.
Where if he takes it a bit earlier, it's probably 5 out.
So are we at the opinion? I think we are. I guess we'll have to be that Murphy is your starting right winger. Because I this one, it feels like 5 minutes ago I was saying, we should just stick with Barnes over here or play Gordon, play the three of them. They're the best players, of course.
If you're swapping Dubravka, well, in fact, no. If we're looking at current situation with injuries, the team that started against Leicester is probably our strongest starting 11.
So Murphy's your right winger. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's probably about right.
People could possibly argue moving Gordon to the right, but I'm just not a fan of that because Gordon's so good and he had a fantastic game on the left. So I think
that's what gets you your strongest 11
Gordon's
is doing that. But
in their legit positions, that is probably the strongest at this moment.
The thing is, we've seen each permutation kind of work for a little bit, then stop working. So when I had Gordon left, Barnes right, it worked for a bit. And then when Gordon went right and Barnes left against Arsenal, I'm going to let Gordon do it right now. And then next game he was shite on the right.
Barnes on the right should work though.
I don't know because he does like cutting in. And
he does, but he's not the type of winger that, as we know, that drive it at the players and run like a Gordon does. So having him there with that right foot, you would think that they would then kind of adapt to him to looking to deliver the ball. Get crosses in, move the ball.
I did a podcast when we first signed Barnes with a Leicester fan, and I asked the question, what sort of player we're getting here? And they were slating him, proper slating, but a lot of fans do that when they lose a player. And they were saying all that you'll get from Barnes, you'll get really frustrated as that you'll get to the byline, then cross a useless ball in, We never see that from him. We see the complete opposite, where he comes in and cuts inside. He never gets to the byline, which if he's been on the right-hand side, you would expect, like the ball that Murphy put in the other week for Isak, wasn't it? Was it Isak that got the header? That pin? No,
Gordon.
Was Gordon that put the ball in? Sorry,
Liverpool.
yeah. That's what you would probably expect when he's playing on that right-hand side. But you don't really get it, as Deka said, that he kept on cutting inside and hitting it with his weak
foot. I guess what they're probably seeing is what we sometimes see with Miggy, is that because he'll get to the byline because he goes, use his right, he's then going to cut back and put it on his left and deliver across. Whereas having the right footer on the right wing, you should be like
Osula winger, isn't it?
Is just bend the ball in, especially with Isak's pace in behind that back line.
Yeah,
and we never really attempted to do it.
What I did like from Isak, and he did get caught offside a couple of times, though, is just how he just played on the shoulder of the defenders every single time he was looking for that run.
Because he had them on toast for pace.
Yeah.
I mean, that one-on-one, I think he might have just been offside, but he has to do better with that when he literally rolls it back.
He's not been great with his one-on-ones recently.
I don't know what's going on there.
He's not been great with them. But having said that, like, lads, we're 4-0. Like, brilliant. It's exactly what we wanted, wasn't it?
Perfect. Gives you a bit of confidence going into the cup game on Wednesday night.
It's a huge week, isn't it? We said last week, these 3 games coming up were huge, and part one of the.
And this is what you want, Deka, though. Like, before the international break, we had 3 decent results on the bounce. Then it all went to shit afterwards. Then you get a good result, and it drops the next one. So you're hoping going into the cup game, especially with it being back-to-back home games, Besty, you want that to continue, and that's what we've struggled with this season.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think everyone has. You look at the league table, and Liverpool top, like they're always. I think they're probably going to win it by looks. Things are miles clear.
No, 2 points.
Chelsea's
2 points better.
Breathe them down.
I think Chelsea are good. I think. I was going to say Poch there. He's not there anymore, is he?
But you look at them drawing at Fulham yesterday.
Yeah,
you wouldn't have expected that.
Liverpool's.
Sorry, Saturday. I keep saying yesterday.
But look at the inconsistency.
Arsenal. Definitely as well.
The inconsistency, like Arsenal, probably the top of that. Man City, you've lost 5 out of the last. Is it the last 5 they've lost now? The 1-1 and the draw, maybe.
I think it's 1-11.
But then we are 2 points off Villa in 5th. We could be.
It's very, very tight.
We could be ahead of Villa by Boxing Day if we beat them at home. It is Villa on Boxing Day, isn't it? I'm not sure that.
It is, yeah.
And they're struggling. They're finding what we found with the Champions League last year, where they are dropping points. Now it's really, really tight. We've been in our group after every game. It'll be Ian going, but the Championship's only a few days away. And then we've got looking at the top end of the table going, but the same points difference gets you like 3rd place. The table is eventually going to kind of stretch and split. And I honestly, I've got full faith that when it does, it will be in the higher places. I think we've got a consistency. I think we'll see a bit of movement in January, and I've got a feeling that we'll lose a big one in January.
Do you think in January?
Yeah.
I mentioned last week when it was me and Deka, I can't imagine it in the summer. I'm not so sure with January. I think we're playing with fire if we do it in January.
I've started to get a feeling. I'm not saying that's what I want to happen. I've started to get a feeling Bruno's the one, like Bruno and maybe Barnes as well.
Well, just to go back last week, it was a question which was sent in to me, Deka, and it was, who would you rather lose in being Isak and Bruno, because these are your 2 players that are going to bring the most money in, aren't they? And we didn't even have to think about it, did we, Deka?
Didn't take me a second.
Both said Bruno. If it's between the 2 of them.
Even on Saturday, there's a point where Bruno does a pirouette on the edge of his own
box.
Wins it back and loses it again.
He does it once again.
Yeah.
I put it in the group chat. I was like, there's moments in the game he just goes totally brain dead.
Yeah.
Always has a moment in the game where he just does something mental.
Like if Bruno stays here for his whole career, I'd be absolutely thrilled. Because I love Bruno. But I think looking at the squad, and I think how long he's been here for his age, what he wants to achieve in his career, I don't think it'll be here. Sadly,
well, David Ornstein was on the telly that I was watching.
He's got him from Athletic.
Yeah, I like him a lot. And he was saying that there's nobody going to buy him.
Yeah.
Not for the prices quoted. And I wouldn't pay £100 million for him. Not a chance in hell, would I? That's just my opinion. If it was my money, and it's not my money, if I was Man City's of the world or whatever, I wouldn't be paying £100 million for him. But
I think
he's very good. But
do you know what it is? I think if that lad came in the summer, then possibly. But I think he's had such an up and down season so far this year, and he hasn't looked great at times. But some games he has looked like the old player that we used to. But there's no consistency.
If we were going to sell him, he would have went in the summer when he had the buyout clause.
Yeah, £100 million though, wasn't it? I don't think.
Yeah, it was.
That's why no one's going to pay that.
And it was within a certain time frame as well, wasn't it?
By the end of June, because it was for the PSR stuff.
The way that things are, like literally nobody's is buying players, and we know how bad January is anyway. So I know obviously there's a lot of talk of that we have to sell players, move them on in order to bring people on. I just cannot see anybody dropping a huge amount of money on any of the players.
I was going to say, when we were talking about Miggy earlier, when he came up, I was thinking he looks like he's kind of on his way, but then...
Can we discuss Miggy's Instagram video?
What is it?
I don't think I've seen this.
No, I haven't seen it either.
No, I
No.
haven't seen it, no.
I've just not seen
No,
it.
what's he doing, like? Did I ask?
He's recording himself lifting weights and just in the gym. It's the most awkward thing you will ever watch.
I've never... Today?
I think he put it on yesterday, I think it was. But go on his Instagram. It's oh my God,
What,
by
is this
now.
like, is this like a
It's
Michael Owen
24.
style program of like coming by as I'm fit? Is it one of them type of
That's
videos?
exactly what I was
No, I
thinking.
don't think it's a Michael Owen style
Oh,
one.
okay, right.
It's
Oh,
not
he's just
brochure.
like-
Poor
Right.
lad's just having a workout in the gym and he's rinsing them.
Honestly, go and watch it. Like
It's
I
bad.
was
I
like,
did enjoy you making
cringing.
risotto recently. That was nice.
A proper cringe when I seen it. Like it was mental. Shall we go through some questions?
Let's do it.
Why not?
Have you got your announcement? Are you doing an announcement?
Oh, yes, I've got a public service
Are we
announcement.
doing it now or at
If
the
you want
end?
to do whatever you want, that's fine.
Is it huge?
It's quite big, like.
Is it?
It's quite
That's what
big.
she said.
All right, okay.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Oh what? What?
Wow! Wow!
It is.
Wow!
Honestly,
What?
that's why I put it in the
Ladies
group.
and gentlemen.
And I didn't want to say what it was, but I said almost reminders. I've got something I want to say on Monday, and that's it.
What has changed your mind?
I watched it the other day, and I thought it's definitely a Christmas movie. This,
Bollocks, not having it.
See,
Not having
obviously,
it.
it's not
Finally.
it's not the one like sit down with your kids and get.
You're on the stupid side of the table. That's why.
Honestly, no, it is. And I thought I'm gonna have to mention it on Monday, so there we go.
Brain rot. That's all it is. Brain rot.
Yeah.
I thought he'd be shocked, like.
Fucking assholes.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It
yes.
is.
definitely is.
It's not more,
100%.
it's
not.
more a Christmas movie than Batman Returns.
It is. There's trees. There's hats.
If you want to
there's
make it
boho,
even-
Batman Returns, there's trees,
Even
there's
more
hats, there's-
Christmassy.
that's my next one. I'm gonna watch that and see if it is.
It's mint. It's mint, but it's not a Christmas.
What?
I love Batman Returns, but it's not a Christmas.
Yeah, yeah.
film.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
Batman film.
There's a Christmas tree.
There is
Snow.
I know. Yeah.
Max
We're not
Shrek
going
gives
back
out
on-
presents
we're
at the
not
end.
doing
Die
this.
Hard is though, and
It's not.
I've changed my
100%
opinion.
is.
It's not that. Right, we're going to go through the
Happy to admit
questions.
when I'm wrong.
Hi, Josh. He sent in a donation, £10 donation, and a question.
Yes,
He
Josh.
says, a light-hearted question. If the four of you were on death row,
Nice thought.
what would your last meal be?
Oh well, it's easy for me.
What's yours?
Kebab.
Kebab, aye.
Kebab.
Kebab.
Tub of garlic.
Kebab wrap, kebab,
Oh,
doner
sorry.
kebab.
It would. Well, me answer would normally be a Gill's kebab pizza. Probably.
that off?
Sorry, mate.
The big people listening can text us.
Sorry. A Gill's kebab pizza probably, but I would probably just want a large doner kebab with chips, tons of garlic. That would probably be it. Yeah.
All right, okay. Mark?
That's what I had yesterday. It's unbelievable.
What time of year am I dying? If it's winter,
You've not got many
if it's
days
like
left in
autumn
you, big
to,
firm.
autumn to winter, when the elderly start dying, I'll get that in before you do.
Winter fuel's been good as well,
Exactly.
mate, on it.
I've got respect for my elders, Mark.
I would go mince and dumplings.
Oh, I
I
think it's
love a
lovely.
mince and dumplings.
I love some dumplings.
Oh, that's a
Lush.
shan choice for your last meal, though.
Wow, that's what I'm saying. If it was winter time,
All right, what if it was summer? I don't
Mine
think I
would
was
just
following
be
the question.
mine would just be
Yeah.
kebab winter, autumn,
Yeah.
summer, spring, Christmas Day. I'd rather have a kebab, mate.
I'm definitely going Chateaubriand in a warmer climate. Spring /
What?
summer.
Can he be right wing?
In a warmer climate.
Steak.
All right,
there
okay.
you go, and steak.
Bestie, what's yours?
I don't know. I would like something that would just make me shit myself violently when it happened. Just-
Oh, I've got a story to
It's
tell you.
Vindaloo.
on the verge of that anyway.
Yeah,
mate.
I've got IBS anyway. Like so.
I've got to tell you a story quickly, right? So last night, as it was NFL, I did my normal thing. I
Oh,
got
yeah,
four
oh, yeah.
pizzas, kebab, the whole 9 yards.
It's outrageous how you're not as big as all three of us combined.
It was unreal what I had yesterday, right? But so this morning, I had a meeting and I was needing the shit, right? But I couldn't leave the room. I was having a coffee at the same time. Disaster, right? And I'm drinking this coffee and we're chatting away. I'm thinking, so I need to hurry up, like, because
Diuretic.
I'm really
Yeah,
in
very
trouble
much
here.
so.
So anyway, finished the coffee. I'm like, right, I need to go. I went to the toilet. Honestly, car crash. It was just unbelievable, right? And when I
this
opened
was on the third floor.
it was I. And when
Third floor.
when I opened the door, the cleaner's waiting to go in.
Oh!
And I went, and I was going to say, I didn't know if I should say you should
apologise.
5 minutes.
like all the best or what? What am I going to say?
All the best.
Literally, I was going to say all the
Merry
best.
Christmas.
You want to call a vicar in there?
So I just carried on walking away. I just went, like kind of nodded, that nod of like all the best. And
Enjoy.
then I went to the door and all I heard was,
Do you not like tidy up
Yeah,
after
I
like, give it a,
No,
like leave the,
I think it was just
the
a
brush.
smell.
He was coming out to get the hose pipe. That's why he came out.
It looked like you could eat your dinner when you went in there. It was the appearance was fine. The aroma, on the other hand, my God Almighty, it was horrendous. Even I was sitting there going, "Hurry up, I need to get out of here." And then she went in. She's like, I just heard her do that. I was like, oh, hilarious.
What was
Absolutely
yours? What was yours?
Um,
Death Road.
Mine would be chicken tikka masala, madras hot.
Aye.
That's nice.
Because you get the sweetness and the
What
coconut
naan
from
bread?
it, but then you get keema naan.
Yes.
Keema naan, yes.
Yeah, good shout.
Yeah.
I get garlic keema.
I can never get keema naan because Warlass doesn't like lamb.
Take a mincemeat in it.
Yeah,
Might just have it
Why
like
don't you
yourself.
just get a
Just go yourself.
naan bread each?
My ass always gives me the naan the full lot. Like it's amazing.
Yeah.
Just blah, blah, blah.
I can't think what I would have, you know. Maybe that's some open Ahmed's one more time. And sorry, not Ahmed's. What was it called upstairs from Ahmed's again?
And he says,
And he says,
Oh, and he says,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, buffet.
one last go around, and he
yeah,
says,
good. That's a good shout.
yeah.
Josh, what's yours?
Yeah, Josh, what would yours
What
be?
would you have, mate?
The good thing about Nisa is like they start doing pizzas as well. So they had the curry section and had
Yeah.
pizzas
Yeah,
and the
so it's
garlic
more
was
like a world
unreal.
buffet this
the
team.
pizza's always looked amazing, but I never.
The
Still open on the
starters,
quayside, isn't it?
yeah. The starters were nicer than the
We need to
mains.
go there in
I
January.
love the fish masala.
Yeah,
That's where we're
do
going.
what he
January.
says.
We're going to go and
Do
do
it.
Big
He
Luke's,
says
Big Luke's still
mukbang.
open.
I want like 5 slices of
Isn't that
pizza
one of
with
the
curry
Mirror
all over it.
I think it's one of the Mirror.
I
Something
think
like
there
along
was
next
a
to
big Luke eye.
Namco Arcades.
Namco Funscape.
That's what it's called.
That's what. Yeah.
Right, let's get back on the
I've got
football.
a story about that for after the podcast.
Right,
Oh.
let's go. Josh also
kind of broadcast that
Josh
one.
finished that question as well because it was a double question we got. He said, "What would be your last NUFC game to watch?" Yours is going to be the PSG one. isn't it?
He still hasn't watched it.
I watched the Ryan Taylor interview that we did a few years ago. If you had to pick one, obviously,
I know mine. Mine would be the 5-1.
Sunderland.
Sunderland, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to say the Man United 5-0, probably.
I've got painful memories about that one now. It's become associated with a project I've not finished yet. So I can't.
What one's that
I
again?
cannot watch it without that pang of kind of. I don't know. I would just watch that goal against Ipswich over and over again. When every player touched the ball, none of them did.
Lovely goal.
Yeah,
That's
I
good.
would say that was
Nice.
such a nice.
Amazing, yeah.
Or like there's the 4-3 against Leicester in '97 when Shearer got his first hat-trick forward.
Oh, unbelievable. That free
Just
kick,
that
man.
the way they turned it round.
Flabosh. 3-1 down.
Aye.
What would yours do? Be?
Probably
Even black and white.
Feyenoord 2002-3
Oh, Bellamy.
Shout.
3-2.
Champions League.
Shout.
Best
That, mate.
favourite game I've ever been to.
Good shout.
But then, good shout out. 2 recent ones, obviously the PSG game and the Spurs demolition at home.
Yeah, aye.
Yeah, that was kind of.
I think
Just that first half is just unbelievable.
for me, the Arsenal one, the last game of the survival,
Yeah.
finished 11th, but just the atmosphere and the
Yeah.
if Callum Wilson, that when he hits that volley on the turn, from like 40 odd yards
If
out,
that went in.
if that goes in,
To see one goal again, Jonas, West Ham.
deflected, wasn't it though?
I know, but it was just a
Yeah,
beautiful
they-
moment.
And it didn't make
Yeah.
a difference because we're already
It doesn't matter. It was
She-
a beautiful moment.
Shearer's Everton at home for me.
the volley.
I tell you which one I did love from him was Arsenal last game of the season. It's
Yeah.
that picture you've got over there. It's that celebration. It's that goal.
Aye.
Lush. What a strike that is! It's just rising. It's
I love
it's
that. He
unbelievable.
scored a free kick at Old Trafford.
Yes,
That was
against
similar,
Bartes.
and we
Yeah,
got beat. I think
yeah,
we
we
got
just hammered
that one.
aye,
But
hammered,
aye,
Did you see? There's a guy on Twitter. I put. I can't forgive us. I can't remember the account, but he put. I think we beat Blackburn 2-0 or something, and he put it on. It was like this day 70 years. And
Threat
Speed,
level.
Gary Speed scored
Mhm.
and off the bar, left foot. Honestly, it's one of the best ever. That
hit a
like.
ball, lovely Gary.
He used to
Speed.
hit a ball.
He could, aye.
It's like a head on it. It like just comes on. It's almost like the Shearer when Amiobi flicks on. He hits it on the volley.
Yeah,
It's the same kind of thing. And Speed hits it with the outside of his foot, and it goes in off the bar. It looks like I remember when
Always
Tony
looks much
Yeboah
better when it hits the
did that.
bar.
Oh, it's honestly.
You don't
what a
see
strike, man.
people hit the ball like they used to in the 90s, do you?
No.
Like, they were all thunder bastards.
I think now.
Loads of them.
Tell Jacob Murphy that the goal that you scored against Spurs.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think, do you
well,
think it's
he's
the
that.
ball? The difference in the ball and the boots
I think
these
it's
days?
tactics. I think players are encouraged to try and play a higher percentage game now. So try and keep the ball, rather than take a risk of just thinking I'm going to fucking pop this from
That's Fabian, isn't it?
30
Just doing a
yards out
Fabian.
every now and then. Aye. So I think it's got as much to do with that they're so well kind of trained to go right. You've got a better chance of scoring if we do this.
It
That's
is-
why you don't see as often corners just thrown in the box anymore. Because statistically, you're no more likely to score from a corner swing into a box as you are a short corner.
My mate's Mick's watching, right, son? He said Cissé's against Chelsea.
Yeah.
Which one?
Which
The both look
well,
The
the
brace
both
was
are,
fantastic.
but I would imagine
Brace.
the second one.
Yeah, it'd be the second one.
Was an amazing goal, the first one.
Another great assist from Shola.
Shola.
He's been
Shola,
involved in
yeah.
so many great goals where he gets the assist.
Shearer's
It's like Forrest Gump,
Yeah.
isn't it? Shola's
Yeah.
career.
Yeah.
You know, Forrest Gump kind of all these big things in history, like when the
His chest was better than his feet.
what a chest
Teotihuaca's goal.
Yeah, quite nice, chest.
against Arsenal.
Teotihuaca's was
Oh,
all
against
against
Man
One against City.
That's another one, an absolute blaster, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, just hitting hope, innit?
From 4-0 down as well, man.
What do you mean hitting hope?
Well,
Come on.
Don't be
come on.
negative.
Come on.
We're due 4-4, man.
100% meant that.
Right,
Placed it beautifully.
Go on, keep
Let's
going.
see what other questions we've got. This one's from Toby Shop. He says, "Will we move for Chris Wood in January?" He says, "Will Eddie give
Don't think we can
Osula
afford him.
some game time, or will we see Isaac?" I'm guessing he means it in the cup game. If we look at the cup game, we will be doing a match preview as well. In fact, I think it's already been done. I was on it. I was literally on it.
All the best.
We did that yesterday. It's available for members now. So if you become a member, you get to watch that one as well. I think it's the same starting 11 as what it was against Leicester.
Has to be.
I think the game's too big, isn't it?
It's too big.
Yeah, it's huge.
Too big of a game.
Quarterfinal, isn't it? Yeah, I think he puts a strong side out. But
And again, thankfully, Saturday went as well as it did, where you could rest players and you could bring people
Yeah.
off earlier. Than,
Yeah.
You know, if had it been a real slog and you've got Isak going all the way through, I still think you would have started anyway. But
You
I
don't
think
want 90 minutes. So you didn't. Yeah.
given the fact he didn't get 90, he definitely starts. But what I will say about the question is, in his presser, he mentioned Osula a bit more and saying, like, listen, he's working on, we haven't, I'm not afraid to use him, which I laughed at because I was like, you definitely have been, like, so they didn't give us that. But at least he knows he's there anyway. now. And I agree with Mark. I was screaming for him to get Isak off as soon as the third goal went in. Thanks very much.
That's a game done.
You know,
now,
get yourself to bed, man. Just go home. Don't even stay for the team talk afterwards. Get home and then get Osula on. But hopefully, I do think with Wilson's injury, I do think we will see Osula at some point, whether we like it or not. Because I don't think Isak can play every game. I just don't think.
I hope Isak does get injured.
Well, absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Probably,
It's always a risk, isn't it, as well?
It is. He hasn't got the
probably
greatest
looking at-
record,
yeah,
right?
Probably looking to go through the middle again there, and then Murphy, you get Miggy back in it.
This is the problem.
Yeah.
You start changing around. Oh my god!
Big Joe,
You're getting
Joe through the middle.
you're getting like 50-75% Gordon or 50% Gordon up front. You're then losing everything on the left wing.
Mhm.
It just causes too much hassle. Get Osula on. Just get him on. The fans just need to be patient though as well. If you do decide to do that, you know our
But
fans.
there's one thing that we're not.
is patient. Oh, that's Osula shite. That's what it'll be.
He
straight
looked,
away,
do you know what it is? He looked lively. He wanted the ball. He went hunting for the ball because he wasn't getting much service when he came on. He went
That's
hunting
been the
for it.
problem every time he played. Like against Wimbledon, the amount of little movements he was doing, going in between defenders, looking to get on the shoulder and just waiting for a
Strong
pass
boy
that
as well,
never
isn't he?
came.
He
He's
is
big,
big, strong
strong,
lad,
and
yeah.
fast.
I love him, mate.
There's definitely going to be a player in there, and I think that's all Eddie's saying is, look, we just need to be patient with him. He's still a young, raw kid, and it's just going to take a little while for him to get used to the style of play, get the movement, players to get used to playing with him as well, so that pass does come.
Like 18, 19-year-old. Is he 20 yet?
Oh, I think
I'll
he's
check,
older
mate.
than that.
I'll
Have a
check.
quick look.
Is he? I thought he was
I
still-
want to say 20, 21.
I think
Oh,
he's
still
yeah.
there.
I don't think he's that young, mate. I might be
Alright.
completely wrong, but I don't think he is.
He is 21.
Yeah.
All right.
4th of August 2003. So he'll not be 22 until.
God, I was 21.
His next
now.
birthday.
That's sickening,
He's a while
man.
away.
He's 21 until he's 22.
What is it now?
August.
December, so a while, yeah. So.
Let's go through a couple more questions.
But I do think when listen, you're not always in the luxury. That's what I mean. You're not, in the Premier League, you're not always at the luxury of being 3-0 up with 40 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Like, get him on, give him 40 minutes. You know what I
And
mean?
that's, as I
Half
said
an hour.
earlier, that's why I was surprised that it did take a bit longer for him to take
Yeah.
Isak off and bring him on.
Yeah.
And the more experience he gets, it's going to be good for him. as well, you'd have
exactly it,
thought, so.
That's exactly it.
Callum
Particularly when he
Lewis.
was so quick to get Murphy, who was on a hat-trick off the pitch.
I
Who are lads?
felt bad for
Who
him.
are
like,
lads?
Hopping mad about that.
yeah, I felt bad for him. Callum Lewis follows that up saying, "Would you lads like to see Osula on the right hand side?" No.
No. Listen, I think we joked, right, saying that Almiron was fourth, and he was not having any of it. Almiron isn't even a contender for right wing at all now. That ship is sailed. He's doing weights on Instagram. It's done, right?
Are you admitting that now?
It's crazy.
What? That he's not fourth choice. What did you say? Did we say fourth choice?
Was it fourth?
Third,
Because
push.
you've got like
Because we kept saying
Murphy,
Murphy was
then
ahead.
you've
You were
got-
going, he's not ahead of him. Oh, wait, mate. Oh, wait.
We said Murphy, Gordon,
I've just
Dooley.
said that to Christopher,
wait,
man.
did you see him for the first 30 minutes?
probably Willock as well.
Barnes came on the right hand side as well.
Yeah,
didn't
I definitely think Murphy is the guy. He is the starting.
There's not that on Miggy's.
Do you think
6 or 7?
Miggy's
it's not
been
for-
calling Eddie like names, like at training and stuff like that? That's why he's not getting a game.
I don't think it's going to be for very long though, because I do think in January that's where we're going to stand.
Yeah.
I really believe in January we're going to sign a right one.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Miggy for a little bit on Wednesday.
Yeah, you wouldn't be shocked. Like, you're far from it. I just don't think he's going to be starting games. He'll be playing his part. But I'm with Deka. I think if anybody, it's going to be Miggy and
Murphy, you mean?
no
Start.
Miggy.
Sorry,
That goes. And do you know what it is? I think the more I think about it, I know I had this discussion the other week, but I don't think we're going to get a lot of money for him.
Well, no, if they've been trying to sell him for the last 2 or 3 windows, and the only real interest being from FC Charlotte,
Mhm.
who
There's like between 10 and 15 mil or thereabouts, wasn't it?
yeah,
But do you not think that's a bit of where he would be open to going as well, though? Because obviously there was the chat about him going to Saudi, and he point blank turned that move down.
he was playing more football then as well, where he's not now, and I think that might be part of things that might even be why Howe's been quite as abrupt in dropping him, is to say, right, you're not playing football anymore.
Yeah.
So you've got to go.
It's made it
'Cause
quite
he was
obvious.
he was still playing quite a bit when we were trying to sell him last time. So what's his motivation for going? He's not going to get the money, I dare say, abroad. We're putting up like settling one of those fees agreements where we pay a percentage of his salary.
Bit of
for
a helping
whatever.
hand. Yeah.
But like, if he's not playing football,
So you mean send him out on loan?
no. Like when Leeds sold Ian Hart to whoever it was, Leeds were still paying his wages for years afterwards.
Yeah,
even though he was
they'll
Leeds.
tie it into the contract, won't they?
Yeah. So we could if he's on, like, hypothetically, if he's on 70 grand a week and he goes to MLS and they say, right, we'll give him 40 grand a week, I wouldn't be surprised if we says, we'll give you the extra 30 just to meet that shortfall. It's not uncommon that, like.
We need to trade better. I will say that. You know, I've been thinking of Mitchell's comments when he said that it's unsustainable, and everyone looked at that as a negative, going like, "Well, Bruno was great and he sucks him in." And blah blah. I think he actually meant probably selling. I think he meant in general how we operate is in a window. In general, trading players is shocking because we didn't sell very well. Did we?
Well, a lot of it's the legacy of the Mike Ashley days, isn't it? Where you've got like Hayden.
I agree with that.
But then it could be down the route, Besty, what you've been mentioning as well. Trading players is trading some of your top talent as well, unfortunately.
Yeah, it will be. I've got no doubt. All clubs do it. You know, Barcelona bought Aguero off Man City. Man City wouldn't have wanted Aguero to go, but that was when Coutinho left Liverpool for Barca and stuff like that. And Coutinho's a bit of a joke now, isn't he? But at the time, he was a really good player, and it was a step up from him and all that. It'll happen. It'll happen to a lot of them.
It's shit like the
But you
rules.
don't mind seeing a move like that for one of your, if one of your star players is going to go and play for Barcelona or Madrid or something like that. But what you don't want is, how many times have we sold players to like teams in the Premier League that are on, you know, at a similar level, or maybe slightly, but
you
like,
could possibly look at Man City selling Palmer to Chelsea.
Yeah,
he wasn't getting a lot of minutes though. Then that's
all right, but to be fair to Man City, I know a lot. I don't like them, but
they wouldn't sell Haaland.
Was it Sane went to Bayern, and then the Palmer's gone, and that Pep's very much. If you don't want to be here, I'll go, and we'll replace you. And even them have to trade, right? You know what I mean? And I just feel like we have to get a bit better. And we shouldn't have to be in this position. The rules stink, to be honest. But like,
100%,
we shouldn't be in a position where you're wanting to become a better club and a better team, and then have to sell your best player. That's just insane to me. That
the thing is, the two things aren't like mutually exclusive. Like the players that we've got, like I'm going to say Isaac Hayden. I like Isaac Hayden a lot, but he's not the player to take from where we are now up the table. Like, but because he's not playing, he's injury prone. He's one of the level of players that he'd be getting good money, comparatively speaking, for a Premier League player. So when he's been on loan to QPR, he was. So I forget where else he was now.
Redden was he at?
I think he went to Norwich.
Norwich.
Oh, yeah, he was at Norwich.
I
think he was.
Like, players are going to might be in a position now where we need to sell a Bruno or an Isaac or a Botman or whatever, because we'll have those players that we haven't been able to. But now that they're coming towards the end of their contract and the end of their time at the club, that's why I think it becomes a bit more fluid. And then they haven't got the 70, 80 grand week contracts like Shelby was meant to be on, whatever it was. So I think in time it'll become normal. We'll not be as hamstrung by PSR because we'll be trading more, and it will become more like that way. I think we're gonna. I think we'll honestly, and it's just a feeling. I've got no knowledge at the club or like that. It's just And a gut feeling, I think within a year we'll see one at least of the big uns go.
Oh yeah.
But then because they'll go for a decent amount of money, that then allows it to buy players in, and that's when we start trading more like one of the clubs fighting for Europe, like what Villa did when Villa had to sell, was it Douglas Luiz in the summer? Grealish for 100 million pounds. Yeah. But then they were able to bring players in to replace it, and Villa are still having a hard time this season, but they're still good football.
The story which has been coming out over the last week though is the possibility of Longstaff being sold.
Because it's pure profit. He's
similar to Anderson, isn't it?
And that's what I mean. We are quite sentimental, right? If like you talk about selling a player and everyone's jumping out of the table going, "Yeah, can I get rid of him?" We are sentimental sometimes with our players because we like them, right? To a degree. But I'm sorry, you've got to be ruthless sometimes. I still believe Trippier. I love Trippier, right? God, I don't think there's a bigger fan than me than anyone. But when buying we're linked, like you've got to try and get him out the door, like.
Yeah, and you've got more than we paid for him as well.
Because his value is just going to depreciate. It's just going to get worse. Well, so you've got to strike while the iron's hot.
The main saleable kind of assets, God, it sounds horrible to say it that way. Players that we had at the time of the takeover, St. Maximin was probably the big one.
That's why he went.
You know, I think if anything, he went for too little.
I thought so.
It was a ridiculous price.
But that was kind of the one that was I didn't want him to go. I love St. Maximin as well. But then we didn't really have anyone else because everyone else that came in too recently. Like Bruno and all that, you're not going to sell him after 6 months or a season, whatever. Or just no one was interested because they're getting paid too much. Like Miggy, we'll just be talking about that now. There'll be clubs who wouldn't mind having Miggy in their team, but they're going back, we can't afford him. So now he's, I think, going by what his agent was saying the other week as well, being encouraged by being left out of the team to say, look,
I mean, you look at players like Target, for example, who was saying, I mean, he's on 100 grand a week, right?
Yeah, apparently.
Like, do you know what I mean? And that guy can get a kick. You know, there's also holes there as well. But that's why I think, listen, you go and sell it. Like Villa sold Grealish for £100 million, right? And they're invested that so well that they managed to develop and then get Champions League football, etc.
Yeah, really, really well.
That's why your recruitment it's so important, because let's say we do sell Bruno for 80, 90, 100 million. Let's say we did. Goodness me, if you get that recruitment wrong that time, you could be hampered for another. God knows how many years because of PSR.
Spurs when they sold Bale, then it got like Lo Celso.
That's right. Yeah.
Soldado came in.
If it doesn't work,
Bentaleb.
Bentaleb, he was one of them, right?
It's tough, right?
But they all seem like good signings at the time. You look at them coming in when Bale left, and I don't think as many people would have said, "Oh, that's not going to work." They look like good footballers.
It was not just too much at once.
Well, it can be. You can. I agree. How is a fan of that, isn't he? Saying that he doesn't want to split the group up.
Yeah,
you add the odd player, and I do agree with that. I do, because if you get 10, 11 players and you want to,
Well, we'll see how often you see it in the cup when you make wholesale changes and it just doesn't
work.
Doesn't gel.
It's not used to season.
And it might look good on paper, the team that's put out. But it still doesn't. They just don't have that chemistry there, which I think is to go back to obviously the possibility of selling players. Hence why I think if anybody's going, it will be Bruno. I don't think anybody's going to be able to afford Isak. Isak's value to us is ridiculous compared to what Bruno's value is to us as a football club, because you can't replace a striker. Isak's quality. You can't do it. Can't do it.
I think if you take Haaland out of it, and I'm going to say this, and people might laugh, but Isak's a better footballer than Haaland.
Yes,
by a long stretch, in my opinion. Yeah. You take Haaland out of it in terms of goals, there is nobody better than him. I don't know anyone better than Isak.
Maybe Salah still.
He's not a striker though. He's a right winger, I'd say. Salah. I'm not saying Salah's fantastic, by the way.
I'm not convinced Isak's a striker.
Well, he starts up front for, right?
Yeah, but I still
so, line.
Like you've got Jackson at Chelsea, you've got Nunez at Liverpool, who would play in that position.
That's the thing. Chelsea Palmer's a better striker than
Jackson,
but again, he's playing.
It's a different
right. He's right, isn't he?
No, he has done well.
I'm being a lot better this season.
But I'm just saying, I'll have Isak ahead of him.
Flying at the top of the league at the minute.
I'll have Isak ahead of anything. Honestly, I would.
I agree.
And that's how good he is.
Yeah, I agree.
It would take in a huge amount of money.
And that's why I could see somebody like a big team, like your Barcelona's, your Madrid,
a big team,
chucking a big old bid.
Even those can't do that anymore, though.
That ain't going to happen in January.
They can't do it anymore?
No, they can't.
Real still can't.
They can.
Real, possibly.
With
Mbappe, nah, it's not happening, is it?
Mbappe is...
Fell out like
Jacob Murphy.
Steady on. It would kill us if he went to a team in our league.
Yeah.
If he went to Arsenal,
there's no fear of him going to Arsenal, because there's no way
I just threw that out there as an example.
But that's all of the noise, isn't it? Oh, Arsenal.
Well, it's just because he plays like Thierry Henry.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
We're swapping for Saka.
What, sorry?
We're swapping for Saka.
Nope.
I thought you said Santa there first.
Santa, that's a year, isn't it?
Santa's, yeah.
Well, it's never going to happen, is it?
No, hypothetically.
No, I don't think I would
I
actually.
think I would.
No, I wouldn't.
No.
No, I wouldn't.
Saka would be a massive improvement.
Maybe 100 million in Saka, possibly.
I'd be tempted at that.
So we'll be going over an hour, but just a couple more talking points. January transfer window. Do you think the target will be on the right hand side?
No, he's left back.
I know you're going to say that. I knew it. As I was saying, I knew he was going to say it.
Without any doubt, yeah.
Do you think that the Callum Wilson situation has changed that?
No.
Well, apparently not. I think that's been said, hasn't it?
I'm listening to Craig Hope. Now, listen. I know I've joked and criticised Craig Hope a lot, but I do watch his YouTube videos every time he releases one. And to be fair, I think he does give a lot of good information, about the inside of the club and stuff like that. At times. I know he's negative all the time, but he said that they haven't changed the target. Even though Wilson's got injured, that hasn't changed their thoughts at all. And he made a good point that the club's almost used to him not being there. So he hasn't been there anyway, so they just get on with it, right? I think it's obviously stupid to say, but let's say, touch everything I've got here. If something happened to Isak on Wednesday, my God Almighty, you change tactic and it changes. You have to, right?
They must have a short list of like blokes that are abroad or whatever. It was like, well, we'll bring him and he can do a job it's a contingency.
Sure, of course, yeah. But I think right wing's now who that right winger is, I've got no idea, but. Who do we get? I mean, me, I just want Bourne. That's all I want. But he's never going to get Bourne in January, right?
He's a great player.
He's unreal.
He is a great player.
Isn't it a shame?
But Kudus we've been getting linked with the last few days, isn't it?
Who's that?
Kudus.
He hasn't been playing much, has he? I love him, but
who?
Kudus from him.
I was saying Judas. I think a Nazi stuff there.
Kris.
Isn't it a shame? Sorry, Kris, I can't
That's
come
fine.
across you before. A little bit. He's very rude to us. Not kind of bloke. Isn't it a shame? Callum Wilson, he's the second top Premier League scorer for Newcastle, and yet his legacy is going to be he's knackered all the time.
Yeah,
because he's been brilliant forward. Like he has been like the years the Steve Bruce, Mike Ashley years, the COVID season behind closed doors and all that. He was the bloke who kept
him and Maxi dragged with it, didn't
him and my mate. Yeah,
and it's just such a shame that like after all this time and he's scored all these goals, his legacy it feels like it's going to be like in 20 years' time we're going to be going, God, he was always injured.
I think it'll be one of those, Besty, where it'll be like, imagine what he could have done.
Yeah,
without the injuries.
Like Darren Anderton's one. Darren Anderton, people still know him as sick note now. He was a brilliant footballer, had a career at Portsmouth, Tottenham, England. Scored a World Cup for England '98. That Columbia game when Beckham scored his first goal. And you mentioned Darren Anderton now, and it's he was knackered all the time. He barely played. Carl Court scored a few goals.
He's a taxi driver now in Vegas, isn't he?
Carl Court, yes, apparently. But everyone remember he was knackered, and it's just a pity that feels like that's where Callum Wilson's going because he's been wonderful for Newcastle. Like,
fantastic,
a really, really good striker. The best I've seen here, up until Isak, probably since Shearer, and I include Demba Ba, like Remy. Is he saying that?
No, I would agree, and I think everyone, and this is why normally the longer you stay, it always ends sour, doesn't it? It just seems to, it's just with football, that's the way it goes. Like, if he had a went, maybe last season, his legacy would be, and it still should be remembered.
Yeah,
I think it will be remembered, right?
I think it will, but I think it'll be the caveat what Betsy mentioned.
He's getting hugely disrespected now just because he's injured.
Yeah, he's getting.
It's not like he's chosen to be injured.
Yeah, but it's the same as a player doesn't choose to be shit either. Like if Murphy doesn't go on the pitch and go, I'm gonna miss this one from 5 yards out because it's great fun. Of course he doesn't, but he's still gonna get shit for it. And I'm afraid, and I'm not one of them. I'm not. Listen, I'm not bothered. Like, I'm not gonna go on social media and start criticizing anybody. But fans will look at that and go, "You're a waste of time. We're paying you a hell of a wage and you're not fit." But then how it comes out, and I know how's trying to do a bit of good PR. He's paid for his own treatment. He's paid his own money to try and get fit. He wants to play. I get that. And I agree with Besty that you need to try and take...
Instagram as well, didn't he, Wilson?
Well, that post was a bit to me like, lay off is a bit like, I'm trying, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's because the reaction has been horrendous.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrendous.
It's frustrating, though. It is frustrating.
It is, but there's a human there at the end of the day.
Yeah.
People just forget about it.
He's at the game there on Saturday going, you ever seen a player that maybe gets worse as
I'm not shouting that at his face. I'm not putting it on social media. I'm saying it to him.
A player that is fit and on his way to recovery. Sven Botman
Big
started
Sven.
for is it under 23s the classes these days? Under 21s?
I don't know.
Under
I think
23s,
they
let's go
actually
with.
said it was the 21s.
Did they? Right.
Yeah.
But either way, he's played tonight. Obviously, it's been going on as we've been recording tonight. The word 2-0 up. So it's good to see him back game time.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just from, it gives you a lift just seeing him back in training. The fact he's now back out on grass in a competitive game's great. You just hope he he can come back as strongly as he was before he picked up a bad injury. Because unfortunately, we've seen a lot of times in the past that it's been difficult for players, particularly centre halves. We haven't had the greatest of luck in that position with centre halves picking up.
Got like
Lejeune did
injured
too.
straight after he came back.
Yeah,
Wasn't it?
He got a broken leg.
Harry Kane was a tit.
Yeah, and he never got a run, Lejeune, really. And
He was a wonderful
he was a great player.
Yeah,
really good centre half. Lovely
So
to watch.
update: Botman was subbed off after 60 minutes. Subbed off, I said,
Great.
with a B.
Good hour.
and they're currently winning
not
3-0.
injured. Can we just clarify?
Wasn't injured.
I think it's nice. It doesn't often happen. That's so nice to see when the players coming back and they play on the 21 level, like reserve football, for example. I would call it. Like they just seem to just play. They just come back and they're in. And I appreciate his has been a hell of a long injury. I do get that.
I think Trips had it, didn't he, as well? Trips had
Trips
it.
been he did. Yeah.
Good era still as well.
Lewis Miley's playing tonight as well.
Yeah, he is. He started.
Could get him a bit more regular football as well. Back to strength.
But he can't be that far away. Because he's
Just Newcastle, mate, just over the bridge.
January. It was just a little bit after him. Was it January time? I think they were talking
because he was
coming back into training.
He got injured not long after Sven, wasn't it? And it was a very similar 9-month prognosis.
I know I mentioned Sven. I do want to mention the centre halves on Saturday. That I'm really pleased for them. They had an easy afternoon because it's a funny thing football. You know, I think it was the week before when Shea scored against Liverpool, and everyone's going, "Hey, Fabs, his name one could do that." Then after Brentford, everyone's saying he's finished. The amount of people saying, "Oh, he's passed it, he's finished." I'm like, goodness gracious, man, he must settle down.
It's important to point out he was very poor against Brentford.
He was dreadful. He was dreadful. But it seems to be like you have a great game of football and you're the best centre half since Maldini. Have a bad one 7 days later, you finished.
That's football.
Settle down.
That's us.
All the same.
I'm not.
That's
I'm
us.
not
Like certain people in hats wanting managers sacked just because they've lost a couple of games.
No. I've been critical, but I'm certainly don't think anyone's finished or anyone needs to get out. And I've said that, being quite vocal on that one. But I was just pleased for them because, again, it's just they had a tough afternoon the week before. You know what I mean? And they had a really
Deka, man, it was only Leicester.
It was only Leicester.
It was only Leicester.
Yeah. True. It's true. It's only Leicester, and they had Vardy to deal with.
I'm in there. Thanks everybody who has joined with tonight. Almost 200 of you live there. Like the video, means a lot to us. Become a subscriber. It costs you nothing to do this. If you do want to give an extra bit back, you can become a member. Starting from $2.99 a month, you get early access to stuff like I mentioned earlier. You've got the match preview on there. Canny Chatter is on there, available as video as well. You'll have match previews this week and all sorts.
Prediction. Sorry, Besty. Prediction for Wednesday. Not team, just go.
2-0.
2-1.
Newcastle win penalties.
Oh, man, he nearly night. I'm not.
3-1 Newcastle.
There we go. All around.
Are we doing next Monday?
Yes. We are. Well, we're a couple of days before Christmas.
What date is it next week?
23rd.
Christ, I better get buying some presents here. Bloody hell. We're getting close.
It's your last shopping weekend coming up.
23rd. Because the
Black
next
Eye Friday.
There's another Monday not long after where it's Man U away.
29th.
So we could do a watch along for that one, possibly.
Can we get a pizza?
We'll get a pizza. Yeah, we'll do a watch along for that one. But yes, we will be doing our Christmas podcast. Let's say next Monday.
Yeah.
We'll get our Christmas jumpers and that on.
Happy days.
I'm not really fit. I got too fat.
Let's stitch two together.
Like the novelty shirts when the
Aye.
Oh, Scott just mentioned in as well. There is a live Canny Chatter tomorrow night, apparently. It's the first I've heard of it. But yeah, tune into that as well. I would imagine that'll be around about between 7 and 8. What she's doing. See you later. Ta-ra. I can't say the words.
Well, won you now.